Hey, what's up, everybody? And thank you for listening to Operation Agency Freedom, where we are bringing you top secret advice from the world's most badass digital agency owners. These amazing men and women are sharing their stories of how they have built 6, 7, and 8-figure digital agencies and how you can too. My name is Chris Martinez, CEO of Dude, where we help digital agencies by giving them the people and the processes so that they can scale profitably. Today, I am joined by a legend in the digital agency space. Mike Arce from Loud Rumor is on the show. What's up, Mike? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, man, a legend. That's pretty cool.
I
just met with a bunch of people from like England at this F45 conference, and they've called me a legend. Like, it's like a nickname. Like, what's up, man? What's up, amigo? They'll say like, what's up, legend? Oh, you're legend. You're legend. And I just felt so amazing because they would call me legend. Everyone called me legend, but they called each other legend. Then I started catching on. But then also they would say brilliant. So everything you said, instead of saying cool, they'd be like brilliant, brilliant. So it was just really, really complimentary.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, like I'm a soccer guy, so I've grown up, well, not grown up, but like over the past, 15 years, I've watched a lot of Premier League soccer in England, and they always have the British announcers. And I love it when they say brilliant. Oh, what a brilliant play. Everything sounds better with a British accent.
It does, easily.
Cool, man. So, we start off every show with a little roundtable discussion. And you recently had a dog training experience, and I'm a huge dog lover. Let's hear about this dog training experience that you recently had.
These guys are nuts, by the way. So this one guy that joined our company as a performance director, he actually owns 20 businesses that are all doing 7 figures or more. And we knew him because 7 of them are Orange Theory Fitnesses, and that's what we work with. But one of them was a dog training company called E29 Games. And he came over to my house. He saw that we had a new puppy, and it was a Australian Shepherd, and she was kind of like erratic, like barking and stuff.
Oh man, those dogs have like just so much energy. I think it's one of the top, it's gotta be like top 5 most energetic breeds on the planet.
Yeah, and I think it's like ranked 2 in intelligence.
Yes.
They're so intelligent that they can own you if you don't own them. And so he looks at him, he's over my house, and he goes, I can fix that for you. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I got a dog training company. I was like, I forgot about that. And so he was like, how about this? How about you create a video for us and a landing page that we can actually drive traffic to for some cool stuff, and we'll train your dogs for free, which normally it's $3,500 per dog. We'll train your dogs for free, but this way they can see the journey of your dogs where they are today at week 2, at week 4, and at week 6 once we're done with them and how well behaved they are. I was like, deal. So we did that, and it was actually a pretty good transformation, dude. These people are no joke. Like the one woman that is a master trainer, she is one of only 6 master trainers in the entire country, and she literally trains not only like canine unit dogs, but she trains them at the level where they're sniffing and finding bodies and drugs 100 feet underwater.
Wow.
Like from a boat, like sniffing and then just starting barking, and then divers just dive in. They're smelling like they'll give that dog to they'll train a dog and they'll give it to somebody that's got like really issue with their ketones in their blood. And then as soon as their ketones go low in their blood, the dogs can smell it before I even feel the symptoms. So now go and start barking and getting your medication for you so that like, okay, I should take this so I never feel symptoms, which is pretty nuts. Because that's what the body does, right? The body gives you signs so you can fix it. The dog catches a sign before you do, so you never get the symptom, which is bizarre. So anyway, took our dogs, and it's amazing, man. They just, like, you say sit, you say down, everything implies a stay, so they'll sit there until you tell them to move. They'll lay down until you tell them to get up. Place, go to their bed. They ring the doorbell to go out. Dude, it's amazing.
So did you go through the training as well, or was it?
Yeah, so the dogs go through the training. You drop them off for like 5 weeks or 6 weeks or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And after it's over, they bring the dogs back to you with a trainer, and for about 2 to 3 hours, they train you on how to keep the training going, what they've learned, how to keep at it. And so we've been up with the training and practices, but then they give us like unlimited group training for free. So 20 sessions, you can bring your dog in. If there's ever an issue, they'll come back, they'll take the dog again for free. Like, it never costs you anything. So it's badass to have good dogs.
I don't know if you remember the Dog Whisperer, but my dog was a puppy basically when the Dog Whisperer show kind of like started. And so I would watch that religiously.
Caesar, that guy? Caesar Milan?
Caesar Milan, yeah.
Okay, so check this out. So I said, when the dog trainer was here, I go, okay, now that I see this, I may get really excited and go look online and look for other things I could teach a dog.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for me? And they said, don't listen to anything Cesar Millan says.
Really? Why is that?
And I go, really? They're like, we know people that are on the show, and it's literally just, it's all set up. They go in there, the dog, yeah, the dogs are all erratic, and then they train the dogs behind the scenes, and then they cut it so it looks like it's the same scene, but now they're a different dog because they've been trained for like a couple weeks or something. And she says, if you go to a dog that's vicious or barking or even just uncomfortable with you, and you go tss, tss, like that, you get your hand bitten off. Like they're not gonna, they don't care. They don't care what that is. They're gonna bite your hand. You know. So she's like, don't listen to him. Just, you know. And then she gave me some people to follow, and I can't remember their names. I wrote them down, but yeah, there's
Interesting. So Cesar Millan used to say, you know, we rehabilitate dogs and we train people. From what you learned through that dog training, is there anything that you could apply in the people management world?
Yeah, I mean, number one, you set the tone, right? So with the dogs, we had to set the tone right from the beginning, and then it's ongoing training. You know, training is not a project; it's a process. So, you know, even if you take like LeBron James, he practices more than he plays games. Beyonce rehearses and practices more than she sings concerts. You know, every professional that you can think of, a comedian will do more off the stage than he does on the stage to make sure the on the stage is good. And with our people, you know, we role play a ton, and we do a lot of stuff off the phone so that when we're on the phone, and it's ongoing. It's not like, great, now you know how to handle a call. It's no, now every week, do you still know how to handle a call? Here's a random spot. Hey, how do you think about it?
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I need to speak to my wife. Hey, how come our ad spend is less than our fee? You know, and like all these things they would normally get, and then we see how people respond using the script.
Right. Awesome.
So well, just like dogs, people will regress, including us.
Absolutely. No, I love that. So let's get into the Loud Rumor story. We actually had you on one of our group coaching calls, probably, God, maybe it was like a year ago. And we talked about cold calling. But for those of you who have never heard of Loud Rumor and your story, why don't you give us the elevator pitch for what Loud Rumor does?
So we're the number one agency in the world for fitness studios that want to be wildly successful.
Awesome.
Notice I didn't say ad agency or marketing agency or anything like that, because we're more than that. In fact, what we do doesn't exist right now in the marketplace. We've evolved to a point where now it's a new thing. It's a new category. So yes, we will still build ads for you, but we've got the best studio owners from all over the planet. We fly them into our office, and we have a whole studio, and they contribute to different trainings. So you as a novice or even amateur studio owner can learn from the greats. So every category, all the way from stuff that's relative, like here's how you should look at marketing, and here's how to come up with your brand, and here's blah, 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 all the way to sales, right? When the lead comes in, here's how to take a call, here's how to follow up, here's how to manage it, and then all the way down to finance, PR, HR, operations, hiring, firing, everything you could think of. There's not only one training for, there's several trainings for. What we're kind of thinking is like, think of Netflix. You can never go through Netflix. You'll never go through it. You'll never go through our stuff. You just won't. You'll never be able to go through it. You would have to stop working, right? And then Netflix, you'll never be able to go through. However, when you look at Netflix, if you decided you wanted to watch a comedy, you go to the comedy section, you can pick from comedies. If you specifically wanted to watch Vince Vaughn, you can watch comedies by Vince Vaughn. You can just look for all movies Vince Vaughn's in. For us, same thing. If you want to look for sales stuff, type in sales. Here's all the sales stuff we've got, all the trainings. Gotcha. If you want to look for sales stuff specifically from Matt Kafora, you could find that, or just any training from Matt Kafora. So if you like a person's particular style, it meshes well with you and the way you like running your business, and watch all their trainings. And we get all that. We get all that in here. And dude, I mean, it's been remarkable how, you know, studio owners are growing and actually learning the game rather than just hoping everything around them gets better, which is what it's always been.
That's great. Now, you didn't always start off with this. Well, this is the first time I'm hearing about this education piece of your agency. Yeah. Let's talk about the origin, you know, like, because you had a background in fitness. I know that. So why don't we start there, and then you tell us how you actually started, got to the point where you launched Loud Rumor.
I was in the fitness industry for about 7 years. Started out as a person that sold personal training to a person that became a personal trainer to a person that managed personal trainers to a person that opened up different clubs and grand openings for new clubs. And then I started my own personal training company. And eventually I got out of that, got into marketing, started my own agency. Initially, we started out as a web design company.
Mm-hmm.
And
with working specifically in the fitness niche or just anybody?
No. We just, I was I thought, I could help everyone. And I could. I really believe I could help everyone. The difference is I couldn't help myself because, it's so much easier to sell to a niche than it is to sell to a broad. So I'll give you an example. For 6 years, my work ethic was the same as it is today. I did what I had to do. In fact, I probably even worked harder because I had to, right? And I had less kids. But, I racked up, I never got more than 42 clients ever. I couldn't get past that. And as soon as we niched, which, keep in mind, 6-7 years for 42. As soon as we niched, within 18 months, we had over 400. We 10x in 18 months. And now we've served almost 2,000.
Wow. I mean, that's incredible because I feel like the last time that we spoke, you guys were in the 500 range, somewhere around that. But that's amazing. So what do you attribute a lot of that? I know you said niching, but like going deeper into that, what are some of the things that help you get to those different, milestones within your business?
It's going to sound very crazy and like kind of weird and above the clouds type of thing, but I truly believe it's kind of where it all stems. It's not believing in all the modern day Instagram philosophers and their wonderful quotes they bless us with every 3 minutes, right? The ones that's like, if you do what you love, you'll never work another, what is it?
Day in your life.
Yeah. Or people love to buy, but they hate to.
Oh, I don't know. I never heard that one.
Oh yeah, people love to buy, but they hate to be sold. Marketing isn't an expense; it's an
investment.
Right. All that shit's bullshit. Sorry, I don't know if I can curse here, but it's
you can curse as much as you want.
It's not right. It's a wrong way to think. And so what happens is everyone starts listening to the same thing, and everyone starts sounding like the same person because everyone's thinking like everyone else. Mm-hmm. And so when you say, oh, if you do what you love, you'll never work another day in your life, that's bullshit, right? LeBron James, since he was a kid, has wanted to be an NBA player. That's what he's wanted to do since he was a kid, and he does it, and he still loves it. But he plays 77 games a year for about 38 minutes a game. That comes out to about 48 hours a year is what he works. You've probably worked more than 48 hours in a week. He does that for 48 hours a year. So what does he do for the other 2,000 hours? All the stuff he doesn't like to do. Yep. Sitting in ice baths, sitting in cryotherapy, getting stretched out for hours, going weeks or days or weeks without talking to his family or seeing his family, answering the same questions over and over and over and over and over and over by interviewers that are inevitably just really wanting to bash him and get a great story at his expense.
Right.
None of that's basketball, but he understands it's part of the game. And so in marketing, what do we love as marketers? We love to create content. We love to create ads, and we love to do retargeting and optimize and do all these things and landing pages and funnels and all that. And all that stuff's amazing because we love it. And that's what we love. You know what, dude? Sometimes you just need to pick up the damn phone and cold call someone.
Yeah.
Like, my phone is always at arm's reach, and so is the prospect I'm calling. What market do you want to work in? For us, here's what we did, right? I still do it today. I'll still cold call. I'll cold call right now. I'll still cold call. I have no problem with it. If I know there's a market we want to work in, let's say Austin. Austin will have 2,000 people that fit the 200,000 people that'll fit the niche in a 5-mile radius. We just go to Yelp. We type in Austin. And by the way, we learn the reach because we go to the Facebook ad set level. We type in zip codes in Austin. It tells us, right? Once you plug in the parameters. We go to Yelp. We type in Austin. We type in Pilates. We sort by rating because if you can't treat customers right, you're definitely not going to treat us right. We sort by rating. And then we call top down. Just call them. And the numbers were clear and they were consistent. Call 100 people. You'll make contact within that first call with 10 decision makers. You make contact with 10 decision makers. You'll be able to set at least 7 demos. You set 7 demos, about 5 or 6 will show. 5 or 6 show, you close 1 to 2. If you can close 1 to 2 a day, you're getting 30 to 60 a month.
That's huge.
But everyone's so focused on the retargeting and the funnels and this. It's just like, because you like it.
So where do you think this comes from? Because I feel like this is the byproduct of something that's been pervasive in our culture for a long time.
Gary Vee comes from Gary Vee. Gary Vee.
You think it's just Gary Vee, or do you think
it's all the sheep that follow him? It's all the sheep that follow. Because here's the thing. I think Gary Vee's extremely intelligent. I think he's one of the smartest guys on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is Gary Vee teaching people how to do, like, the advice he's giving to a lot of people. Not all his advice. Some advice is really good. But some of the advice he's giving people, like, I just saw one yesterday, like, don't get a mentor. I was like,
dude, that was the biggest crock of shit ever.
What are you talking about? That's like LeBron James saying you don't need to work at jumping. You should just jump. Just jump. No, you can just jump. And Gary Vee just understands business. He's got a really good vision for it. He understands it. He sees it differently. It's like Dr. Dre. He sees music. He doesn't hear it, right? Yeah. Gary Vee looks at business. He sees it differently than us. And so for us, we need help with sight. We need somebody to help us with glasses and so we can see things clearer. And that's great for him that it works that way. But dude, telling a kid that doesn't have that, that's BS. So I think a lot of people now, they just start repeating what he says without even going through it. And now it's a problem.
Well, Gary Vee is not the only. Gary Vee is selling the easy button, and Gary Vee is definitely not the first, and he's not the last to sell the easy button. Especially like right now, there's lots of these online gurus who are saying, just learn this and you'll be an overnight sensation, basically. Why do you think that resonates with so many people? Because what I hear you saying, you need to embrace the suck. You need to embrace that things are going to be fucking hard, and you just need to be able to get through it. But that is not what people want to buy. So where do you think this impulse that humans have?
They don't know. They want to buy it. They don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. Because they'll the same people that hear Gary Vee say grind, mm-hmm. they'll post grind too. But meanwhile, all the time they're posting grind, they're not working. See, what they don't know is Gary Vee's not posting his shit. Gary Vee's not creating his own content. So you got a guy up there that's watching it, and now he's going and he's spending time on Canva. He's spending time in iMovie. He's spending time on social media, hashtagging, captioning, tagging. He's doing all that. He just spent 3 hours on a post, and he didn't grind one damn minute. All he did was tell people to grind. So no, we love to buy it. We just don't like to do it because the average person doesn't like to do what they don't like to do. They like to do what they like.
Oh, yeah.
And they want to be seen a certain way.
Everybody wants to stay in their own comfort zone. So let's tie this back to Loud Rumor. So how does this, what you're talking about, how does this play into your own company culture and what you've been able to build?
We're not cheap. We don't do what cheap do. So everyone out there is doing the same thing, right? To get clients. They're posting shitty videos of themselves on Facebook in like a meme format. And they're like, hey, want to see how we helped Sandy get blah, 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 blah. Hey, want to see how this gym owner did? Want to see it's the same shit over and over. And you know why they do the same stuff over and over? It's because it's simple. This, put it in Keynote. Now you got a meme, export it, upload it. Great. Anyone could do it. No skill set needed. Events, they do these little masterminds at like random hotels or in their own house, which is ridiculous. Or they'll rent a house that's better than their own just so they can have a dope house. Or they'll do it here at their office. Shitty. Or podcasts, I see people in my industry, they're all doing the same type of podcasts. It's just audio or it's just like very lazily done. Mm-hmm. And so for us, we go, okay, great. Our content, we're going to make our content much, much better. It's going to be something that's hard to replicate. You can't just the average person can't easily replicate. It's going to cost too much time or money for them to do it. Mm-hmm. Skill set. The event that we had, if you even saw videos or pictures of it,
I think I saw a recap of you in the circus man outfit. Yeah.
The average event, you walk into a house that they Airbnb'd out, and there's chairs they in the living room, and they have like hors d'oeuvres, like they went all out because they got croissants and shit, and they got like champagne, and they went all out. And in reality, no one cares. When they came to my event, the first thing to kick it off, first off, everybody said hi to you by your last name. Hey, Mr. Rios. Hey, Mr. Shaw. Hey, Mr. This, right? Number two, when you walk in, the seating, everything was just incredible. It was like a concert. And then we had contortionists, we had jugglers, we had 12-foot robots, we had birds, we had like everything you could think of that would make this a circus. And we had a bearded lady singing. We had Phoenix Suns dancers. We had Cardinals dancers. That was the first 5 minutes of the event.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had the best speakers throughout the entire event. We did everything on stage live. You cannot easily you have to have either money or time or skill set or connections to be able to do what we did. It's not easy to replicate.
Mm-hmm.
Podcasts, just watch our podcasts. The average person can't replicate that easily. And so I don't want to do whatever. The easier it is to do it, the more we say we shouldn't do it. I see people online, they're like, dude, you shouldn't worry about production. Just go ahead and just do it with your phone like this. Those work. Dude, no, they don't. They don't work better. I know from experience. You know what works better? Being different. Different is better than better.
So, if you're talking, there's an agency owner out there who is eating up everything that you're saying and nodding their head, but they don't have a big budget. And that their financial constraints are real for some people.
You don't have a big budget. So the GSD show started out like this.
Yep.
Two guys talking, one camera angle, that's it. But there was no fitness business podcast at the time. And all of a sudden they came in. Okay, now we got to create them. Now people start creating blogs, right? Okay, well, you create blogs, I'll create books. Little book. You know how long it took me to write Fitness Marketing Secrets or Fitness Selling Secrets? They're 52-page books. You know how long it took me to write this?
How long?
Like 6 hours.
Oh, nice.
It's basically like what I talk about all the time, but it's broken down really clear. It takes less than an hour to read, and it costs 91 cents to print. Grant Cardone gave me the idea to do this. So actually, I use the same publisher he got, but 91 cents. So this is very inexpensive. And it took very little time, but you know what? No one's doing this. None of my competitors are doing this. When you go to our office and you look around at some of the stuff we're doing, we've got a tagline. Our tagline is bigger than our name, GSD, So you don't have to have money. That's why I said or, right? It's either going to take money or time or skill set or connections. It's going to take one of those, sometimes more. But the reason people might be going, I don't know how I do that, is because you're thinking how you do what I do, which would make you, what you should be thinking is, what could I do that nobody's doing? And the easiest way to think of that is to think what's being done outside of your industry. Because you could do something that's outside of your industry and look really innovative. Yep. So for example, our podcast, dude, that's SportsCenter. It's SportsCenter, and then different versions we have are like the Profit.
Right.
It's just not done in our industry. The marketing, the conference we have, GSD Con, there's no fitness conference like that. But there's plenty of marketing conferences like that, right? Like Thrive is like the way we did it, Growth Con before it got massive, similar to that. So, but it's not done in the fitness industry. They're so weird and like boring. So it's different, right? So don't think about a lot of our ideas we took from either Tesla, or we took from Disney, or we took from sports, or we took from marketing conferences, Grant Cardone, whatever, and brought it into an industry that didn't have it. And now we're the first ones to do it.
I love it. So let's talk about, not everything works, right? And I know that, when you're testing out a lot of things, I mean, some of them aren't going to work. What are some of your biggest flops that you've had? Either products you've tried to create for your agency or marketing that hasn't worked. What are some of the things that didn't go according to plan? Or maybe even staffing or whatever, anything.
Well, there's a lot, but the reason I say that, the reason I'm hesitating is because I don't know if it's that didn't work or if it's I didn't do it right.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell people like this is a flop and then they immediately think, okay, I'll never do that, because I think even I would do it again. I just do it differently, or I'd learn from someone that did it better. So an example of something that didn't work well, we went out and we created this really awesome video. A lot of stuff. We decked out our whole office. It was this crazy video where I start out feeding the giraffe and there's all this stuff.
Yeah.
It didn't really do anything. But I don't think it's that type of thing doesn't work. I think I just didn't do it right. Or maybe the scripting, I didn't script it the right way, or I didn't put it out there the right way, or timing was off. So that was a flop.
Let's be specific. What's something, if you could go back in time and do one thing over with that particular campaign, what would you do differently? Specific.
With that campaign or any campaign?
Well, the one that you just mentioned.
I really don't know. I don't know. That was what killed me too, is I don't know
Okay.
like I would test it again. I would test something different. I would probably test the script a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh, I may test like the videography a little bit and make sure it's a little bit more fast paced and fun. But I don't know. All I know is I would fix those things, but I don't know if those things would work, because that's the thing that sucks about a flop, is that sometimes you don't know what happened,
Yeah.
and that's the real truth, which sucks. But
yeah, I mean, it can be frustrating, but this is the thing that at least that I've learned is that you might not always realize what was the cause of the flop immediately, but maybe somewhere down the line you'll be like, oh yeah, that's
oh
what
yeah,
it's always been for me. Like, eventually, it's like that light bulb moment of why you fucked up, and you're like, oh shit, that's why I forgot to do.
yeah. And so further back, I've had like a flop. If I can go back, when I started deciding who my target was, I would have niched a long time ago.
Yeah, for sure.
You know? Because I've already learned, that works. And so, yeah, in that case, I flopped my target. I should have niched, and I'm glad I knew it. And I did niche. You know what? So I flopped, and then I did adjust it, and then I flopped again, and then I adjusted and I got it right. So first I flopped because I picked no niche.
Yep.
Then I did pick a niche, and I flopped because I picked dentists. And the reason I picked dentists is because we already had 11 of them. We had 42 clients, 11 of them were dentists. So we're like, if we're going to pick a niche, let's pick what we've already got a lot of, because we got a good portfolio. It makes sense. We understand. We got proof. We got success. We know what to do. It's temporary. The problem was, I hate the dentist. I go to the dentist every 3 months just so that there's nothing for them to do. I hate the dentist that much. I hate everything about dentists. So for me to read about dentistry and new things that are going out, go to dentist conferences, it sounds like a nightmare. I have no. I love fitness. That was my background. I read about it for fun on my own terms. I'll listen to fitness podcasts because I enjoy fitness. I enjoy health and wellness. So for me, when the dentist thing didn't work, we ended up having a successful fitness studio client during the time of us realizing it was a flop. And we're like, maybe we should go fitness. But we only had one. We're like, forget it. Let's just do it anyway. And we did it anyway. And obviously that was much more successful. So not just picking a niche because it could be successful, because dentistry, I know a few agencies that crush it even better than we do with dentists, one girl especially. But it wasn't for me. So you have to pick a niche that you can stay with consistently for a long time and be passionate about.
Yeah. And honestly, like, knowing you, like, I can't imagine you being the face of the dental marketing industry, but the fitness marketing industry, it's just, it's an intangible thing that it's just a natural fit. I'm like, oh yeah, Mike Arce, like fitness. Heck yeah, of course. That makes sense.
Because I enjoy it. I would have done, even if I was a dentist, I'm looking up fitness stuff anyway.
That's so funny. Awesome, man. Well, we're just about out of time. So thanks so much for joining us for the show. What is the best way for people to get in contact with you?
Best way for people to get a hold of me. Oh, really quick. Are we out of time because you have a time constraint, or can I bring up one more thing that I think would be good? And if it's no, then I can send it to you.
Well, dude, let's talk about it. I mean, it's not really like a major time constraint, but we try to keep the show to around 30 minutes. But dude, if you got some,
well, this is
minutes that you're gonna drop on us. Drop it.
Yeah, this is something that an agency owner just told me on the phone about a month or two ago, and now they're getting better results because they finally decided to just go against their own idea about it. So,
dude, yeah,
I said earlier, which is, people love to buy, but they hate to be sold. He came in with that mindset. Oh, people love to buy, they hate to be sold. And it makes sense, right? Because we're always on Amazon and we're buying stuff, but as soon as we see a salesman, we're like this. But the truth is, it's not true, right? Great example, I was at a restaurant about a week ago, and I already made up my mind of what I was going to order before the waiter came over. I'm pretty easy. Like, I look at something, I pick it. I don't spend a lot of time looking at the menu. And waiter comes over, I was ready to order, and he goes, do you mind if I tell you the special today? And I said, no, absolutely, go ahead. And he goes, dude, he did it so well, I can repeat it to you. He said, it's lightly fried calamari tossed in a white wine cream sauce with capers, artichoke hearts, diced tomatoes. And the flavor is so amazing that you'll never experience anything like that in your life. He's like, it's a once in a lifetime meal. That's what he said. So I was like, done, I'll switch. So I went to his. And the crazy thing is, he sold me, but I enjoyed that meal. And I'm so glad I got that over what I was going to get, because it was so much better. Yeah. So the fact is, people like to be sold. They just don't like to be sold garbage.
Right.
Right. So I think that's important, because marketers are usually, they think they're salespeople, but they're anti-salespeople. They like to sell in ads, but they don't like to make the calls. They don't like to get on the phone. They don't like to do the pitch and the presentation. And that comes from the stereotype of salespeople are shysters or whatever, but you could find a shyster in any industry, any job. Mm-hmm. Basketball, you can find shysters, right? No one wants to play with Melo. So at the end of the day, you just got to know that sales is a big part of not just marketing, but any business. You've got to be able to pick up the phone and just call the person that you know you could help, and then prove to them that you can and close the business. If you do that, I haven't run a lead gen ad in 2 years. I haven't run a lead gen ad in 2 years. We are on a 60-day wait list with about 40 people on the wait list.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? So, but we have salespeople.
Right. That's great. I love it. I've always kind of approached marketing. So if we go back to your restaurant analogy, marketing is what brings people into the restaurant. And then the waiter is the salesperson. Because the sales guy, if he walked up to you on the street while you're walking down the street, not even hungry, probably would not have worked. But you were in the right state. You were hungry. You wanted it. He came up to you. He gave you a better option. And you were thankful because he sold you on the dish, the calamari.
Yeah. Now check this out. You're right. When it's an incoming call, or for an outgoing call, right? That would be like you did walk up to him in the street.
Yep.
You know what 2 things people don't say no to, most people, even if they're not hungry?
Free samples.
Sushi and pizza. If I'm if I'm not hungry, I wasn't looking for food, and somebody comes up and goes, "Hey, you want to go grab some sushi?" Or "Hey, you want some sushi?" I'm like, "Yeah." If somebody brings over pizza and I just ate 20 minutes ago, and somebody opens a box of pizza, I want a slice. So I think cold calling is like that too. Are you as good as pizza or sushi to this person? If the answer is no, well then it's your presentation. It's your product, or both.
Yeah, for me, it's probably ice cream. I love ice cream. So
yeah, you can't say no to ice cream. Right?
I can't.
So that's
why would I want to? All right. So getting back to those final 2 questions so we can wrap this up. The best way for people to get in contact with you?
Probably Instagram, just Mike Arce Live. So my first name, my last name, and then live.
Awesome. And who would be the perfect person to reach out to you today?
Oh, a fitness studio that's got 30 fitness studios. But if they're an agency, is that what you're talking about? An agency?
Well, anybody. I mean, because we have, maybe there's a referral out there and we're like, oh man, a fitness studio, you got to go to Mike Arce. Or if there's an agency owner who wants to learn more about you, this is up to you.
You know what? We've got some really cool stuff out there that I built to actually help train my team. And then it's become a product for agencies. And so it's basically, we titled it How to Build and Scale Your Agency, but it's basically our SOPs for a lot of stuff, our systems and processes.
Great.
So anybody that wants access to that, we sell that. And then we've also got an agency Facebook group where, you're able to come in and we go live in there. I go live in there every week, no matter what. Sometimes we go live in there more often, and you're just a fly on the wall. And then there's Q&A, and you're basically able to see what it's like to run this company, and maybe you pick up some stuff along the way. So that would be really good for both of us, because I get to learn about them too. I usually learn some stuff from other agency owners too.
That's great, man. I'll probably take you up on that one.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks again, Mike, for being on the show. To all of our listeners, thank you for tuning in today, and make sure you return next Thursday and every Thursday for the next episode of Operation Agency Freedom. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.